I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure.
All right. We got a special dish of shame and disgrace only the Miami Dolphins can give to their fans today. Losing 27-24. I've recorded this thing a few times. I've never gotten a podcast out post-game this late, but every time I went to record it, halfway through, I just lost the energy. I had to get a cup of coffee, eat a Krispy Kreme donut, which is going to punish me later, to try to get you guys coverage. Look, I feel bad for Fins fans. I'm one of them, but I've had walls of evaluation and trying to be an evaluator. But this is terrible. I couldn't believe how gutted I felt after this loss. And I think maybe it's 4 years of doing this, just all of it kind of came out how disgusting this loss was, how bad it is. Fin fans, any football fan, but I'm talking to you, we want to watch this game for some pleasure in a very rough life. And it's one thing to be not so good, but we are terrible. I'm going to get into this game and the fallout that's got to happen. I did a podcast a couple days ago on Suit Hustle 2, and my deep concerns that if Ross doesn't change at the top, we're screwed. We might be better, but we're never going to get where we want. And that was tiring. I felt hollowed from it. But this game really was such a gut punch. I know a lot of you out there believe that we could do this, do that, and that's worse for you. But even me, because I can't imagine that, because even me was like, we ain't going anywhere. I kind of knew it. I still feel gutted. And it's a shame that we're this bad. We are terrible. And whether you like to or you don't like to, clearly there is so much wrong here. Just think of all the picks and the development to get to this spot. So I'm going to get into it. I'm probably not going to be totally objective here, just because it's clear there's no reason to be objective in a sense. Everything sucks. Everything. I mean, there's a few players. I think Waddle's a player. I think Achan's a player. There's some other guys out there that could, but that's it. And we're going to have to rebuild this whole thing. The talk of Mike McDaniel, he's terrible. How good did we look? And what did we look like in that first half? And then you don't throw to Waller. We finally get somebody pulled off the scrap heap who could do something. We're in a must-win game, and you don't even target him in the second half. McDaniel's the head coach. He's the OC. He's no good. No good. And there's so many things to point out. I was on with George from Finn's Faith. I had to stop by there to try to get some juice. Frank the Tank's like, how do you not go for it on fourth down when you're a minute and 10 seconds left? McDaniel's terrible. He's got to go. And he permeates through everything just like Greer does. Greer's terrible. How many picks do we have? Top picks, traded up picks, and they stink. This whole roster is terrible. I don't mean every single player, but good 80, 85%. And that means we're in a rebuild. McDaniel's got to be fired. They might ride him out for a few more games because they want the tank, or they figure now there's no hope. Let's try to get the highest pick we can. But he's got to go. There's no way you bring him back. This offense, look, Tua played good enough to win. He's not great. He missed Waddle on a 3rd and 7. He could have stepped into it and went right instead of left. It's not an easy pass. Even some of the best ones are going to miss that. But you'd like something better there. That 2nd and 10. Yeah, 2nd and 10 on the last drive. He sails it high. He didn't get his platform right. Those are two plays you can really, really focus on. But he had a lot of other plays. He played well enough for us to win. But, he's not elite. he got the injury history and loads of money. If you're going to rebuild this thing, you got to get a young quarterback in here and get that rookie contract. But we can't put the blame on him. I mean, you looked at this entire team. McDaniel, the offensive line, Strange was terrible. Jonah Savaiinaea traded up to get him, just like Eichenberg. And I said, I don't think he could be as bad as Eichenberg. But what's the parallels? He's playing worse than Eichenberg, and he's got more physical talent. I think he's got like 15 or 16 pressures in 5 games. Eichenberg's first game, it was 10 with 27 pressures. He's going to outpace that. And you spent a second and third round pick. This offensive line's garbage. While it definitely is a bright spot, I thought Waddle's a bright spot. Malik Washington, I thought was a bright spot with his returns. He's a guy I want to keep. But McDaniel needed to run that football. I understand if you look at the stats, I think Ollie got 3 carries of the entire 14 in a 3-point loss. Ollie had 0.03 yards before contact. And Achan, what did he have here? Achan had 0.10 yards before contact on 10 carries. But still, you got to run the football. You can't let them know. And some of the stuff that he called, this offensive line is terrible. But McDaniel doesn't help it. This whole offense has got to be reestablished. I mean, we were up 17-0. And if we even just ran the football a few times on some of those stalled drives, maybe when we were up 24-20, we would have won. But there was time left because we kept on throwing, kept doing screens and outs. This is his hallmark. This offense is terrible, whether you want to or you don't to. I said a couple of weeks ago, 2026 is 2019, and you can't go in with a very expensive quarterback. Maybe we keep him next year because it's price prohibitive to get rid of him. But this offense is garbage. And it starts with the offensive line. Not saying if the offensive line was right, Tua would be the greatest or whatever, or McDaniel would be better. But, Greer's no good. He's got to get canned. McDaniel's got to get canned. You want to move off Tua, fine. You're going to get a good pick to get a quarterback this year. But if you rush to get that quarterback, there's 66% chance that they're going to flop. That's not a good chance. There's a lot of quarterbacks you could pick in that first round and end up worse than Tua. So this offense failed, although it put us up 17-0 with 2 turnovers. But this defense, how much have we invested in it? Grant. I was like, all right, I get it. But I watched him film and I said, oh, man, he struggles with power. And then I saw him in the offseason, in the training camp, and he had, no pads on. And he had double D grandma breasts. I'm like, what the? He was pushed around all day. Your 13th overall pick. I know he's young, but he was manhandled. He's been manhandled. Sealer had some plays, but most of the time got pushed around. Jordan Phillips, good pick, I think. He had a decent day, got doubled a lot. Not great, but decent day, I guess. Doubled a lot, but he's 20. He got something maybe there. Chop was terrible, continuing to be terrible. That was a big pick right there. This defense gave up 220 yards. There's no way you can blame the quarterback to the extent of saying it's his fault when you got 19 yards running the football to 220. And the running backs had 1,000 yards season. He's not terrible, but man, the missed tackles, the holes that he had. This defense is the worst defense I've seen in a long time. That points to Weaver a little bit, although he's been handed garbage. Rasul Douglas a couple times. There's nobody in front of him, and he goes to the low instead of guarding the high in 2 big plays. Jack Jones with his penalties got 1 pulled back that should have been terrible, but we picked these guys up off the scrap heap. This defense is bad. It's going to get worse. Now that any options of getting anywhere this season goes away and the season wears on, these guys are going to get worse. How much worse can they be? Dotson has a concussion going into the Chargers game. It's going to be an ugly game. Hampton, if they ran like this, they got a better offensive line with Carolina, but this is going to be ugly. This defense is bad. Can't fully blame it on Weaver because how do you go into the season with the cornerbacks that we have? Yeah, you lose Kohu, but then you pull these two things off the back end and expect them to be your lead dogs. Well, Ashton Davis wasn't good. Melifanu wasn't good. Chubb, he was played okay. He actually played one of the best in run defense, but this is terrible. This is going... So there's people out there, and I got to say you were right. You said 4 wins. This is probably going to be a 4-win. I had said 7 to 9 when before the season started, and I lowered it to about 6 to 8. It's going to be a terrible, terrible, terrible season. We're going to struggle. At least we don't have to worry about going totally defeated and dishonoring the perfect season by balancing it out with a defeated season. At least we got 1 win. But we're going to struggle to get 3, 4, 5 wins. It's going to be a battle, especially as you get coaching turnover and injuries mount. McDaniel. Weaver, Greer. I want to put 2 in there. This team really, if you think about it, when you go through and you look at this game, Carolina is not a good team. The one thing they had was 2D tackles. I said with George, Ashawn Robinson and Brown. We're going to have a field day on Brewer, JS, and Strange, and that was a big tipping point. And their offensive line. The trenches on both sides set the tone. And we got spotted 17 points, and they came back. The trenches on both sides make the NFL world go round, but nothing like the O-line. And that was where the majority of the issues came. But we've invested on both sides like nobody's business. That means we're going to be gutted 2019 and 2026. There's not much I can say other than like the Aliens movie, nuke it from orbit just to be certain. This is going to be a long haul. We've got to sell off some of these assets going into the trading deadline. I hope they're smart enough. I did my podcast on Suit Hustle, and my biggest concern is you're not going to get quality guys in here because they don't want Garfunkel and the Money Man and Ross and Greer when he gets moved up into that area, most likely to be interfering with the GM, so it's going to have a hard time. But I'm trying to get some hopium here. Harbaugh might end up getting fired with this season, and he does have a cachet to maybe, not necessarily has to be him, but Jim, his brother, we wanted to hire. He could have set this thing right because Ross and his guys wouldn't interfere because he's got such a cachet, like with Parcells or Peyton. But we are going to have picks. We should be moving for more picks. But who will come here? And if they come here, will they be interfered at the top? If Ross can get a guy to do this, they'll have tons of ammo. And as bad as this roster is, at least they can rebuild it from the top. But it's going to come down to this one thing, and it's going to be a long rebuild. You're going to have, this is not like the Broncos who had lots of pieces and they got strapped with money because of Wilson, and then they found the right cornerback and they kind of found their stride. You're going to have to turn over probably 95% of this roster. And that's difficult. Good news is if we get the right guy, eventually we'll get there. But you're talking at least 28. So I feel bad for you fans. I'm trying to find something here. But I just feel like a fan now. I don't feel like an evaluator. I don't feel like a podcaster. I just feel bereft, empty as a ghost, trying to find out what the hell am I going to say about this sham, this disaster of like biblical proportions that we got to now deal with, on top of hoping that we can find the right guys to reshape this thing. So I'm sorry, Fin fans. This is a disaster. It was predictable, not to this level, though. This took me by surprise. Some of you got it better than me. But that's it, guys. I'll try to get back to you some more coverage, but I don't know what the hell am I supposed to say. Here we go again, guys. I appreciate everything. I'm sorry for what it feels like to be a Dolphins fan right now. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with acebread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.